Hi there. Welcome again to the Unstack video tutorial series. I'm Steve, and in this video, we're going to be going through a Hello World example. So this is going to be our first bit of normal coding. Let's get back in here into our section editor, which we pointed to you in the last video. And today we're going to start with the new section button. From here, we're going to be authoring an entirely new section type from scratch. And I'm going to be explaining the very basics of how our section editor works and how normal works. So we're going to start by giving this section a name. We'll call it Hello World. And we'll give this section a category. I'll call this a text section type because Hello World is text content. So we're going to start by talking about the section tag. The normal section tag is the absolute basis of every section component that you're going to create. It's important to note that all normal tags have this studly caps or camel case syntax. So section begins with a capital S. If you use lowercase s, you're going to be creating an HTML section, which will not inherit all of the normal capabilities. So we're going to create a section tag. We get our close of that section tag. Everything that we create within that section is the content of our section. So we're going to start by creating just a paragraph. Hello world. And you can see up here, we've got already a normal section with content. That's simple. So we're going to go a little further than this. This is just to give you a sense. This is the absolute very basics of how normal works. If we get rid of that capital S, make this just a lowercase section, you can see this does not work. So we absolutely want to make sure that our section tag has a capital S in it. Let's make sure that we have, there we go. And so it gets parsed by our normal parser. And in our preview area, we can see our section with our normal tag. We can do things like background colors for our section. So there's an important piece to normal, which is every element in your normal code needs to contain what we call a data ref. The data ref is a pointer to where the content of that normal tag gets stored. Now, as you can see, our normal follows kind of a JSX standard here. So if you're familiar with React development and JSX, this will be very familiar to you. But essentially, if you're not familiar with it, every pointer, if you will, has to be contained within curly braces. So this is pointing to a piece of data. So I'm going to point this to content.section. Everything that we reference at this top level has to point somewhere in our content object. Content is the top level object of your normal data. So in here, what I'm telling our component editor is to store every property of this section in my content in an object called section. So now when I set a background color, what that's going to do is it knows to set that background color in content.sections, say dot background color. And so now that background color can get stored and then reapplied to that section. So without the data ref, as you saw, none of the functionality of Unstack section toolbar was working. But now that we have a data ref, this all works as expected. So this is your hello world. In the next example, we're going to start to show you how to get into editable tools within that. And we'll see you in a minute over there.